What makes a great product owner? Part 2. This is my second video that looks at what makes for excellence in product owners. I go as far as to say that the PO is the most valuable member of the team in an agile organization, and they should be compensated accordingly. Mention that to your boss next time you sit down with him or her. There are 2 more items to go through on the list of their 4 major areas of accountability. In the last session we covered the first 2, developing and explicitly communicating the product goal, and secondly, creating and clearly communicating product backlog items. So let's explore the final 2. Ordering product backlog items and ensuring that the product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood. So of those 2, ordering product backlog items, this is also known as prioritization. The skill of prioritization emanates from the PO's domain knowledge by knowing what is important to be focusing on. This encapsulates it rather well. The product owner is commonly a lead user of the system, or someone from marketing, product management, or anyone with a solid understanding of users, the marketplace, the competition, and of the future trends for the domain or type of system being developed. And that's from our friend Mike Kahn at Mountain Goat Software. Having a vision allows the PO to be the hand on the tiller to determine what needs to be done in the next sprints as part of the product roadmap. It certainly helps to have a technical background, but it is not a hindrance to being a good PO if you're from a different path. This is especially helpful for a project manager making the transition to product owner, a surefire way to future-proof your career. I, for one, haven't hired a project manager in the last 10 years. Ordering the product backlog is not about ordering the team around either. You won't help create a winning mindset by trying to jam more than is reasonable into the team's sprints to get more stuff done by point X. It's about achieving working software in a sustainable manner that the team can get done properly. There is another very important point to note here that often eludes the traditional project manager. Testing is not done at the end of the sprint or increment. It's done as part of story acceptance, which is the PO's responsibility for moving the completed story into a done state. The acceptance criteria is a set of statements that should be automated. For example, a low security password input from a user is rejected. That is something that can be fully automated and should allow the PO to get a fail response and thus sign off the completed story if the password is not strong. Testing is the job of the person implementing the story. We'll get into the details of writing good user stories that get something completed well in an upcoming video. Secondly, ensuring that the product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood. So let's see what a good backlog looks like. It's first of all radiating information, that's visibility, and secondly it's making available the right information, transparency, and thirdly it's shown in a language that all stakeholders can comprehend, understood. These are very, very important. Any stakeholder can view the backlog at any time. This is about radiating information. The story template that is shown here is written in a manner that is accessible to all in a structured way. This is where people think that working in an agile manner mirrors a bebop jazz band. People think that it's a totally improvised event with no structure, whereas, like jazz music, which I love, there are strict rules on form, scales, chords that bands spend years practicing in order to be able to work with. So it is with working in an agile manner. There is intense discipline in doing it properly, sprint after sprint, and this has almost no limits as to how many teams it can scale up to when you're running an entire organization in an agile manner. It should also be noted that hiding complexity is key. For example, you don't need to expose stakeholders to internal team discussions about whether you're going to implement a feature that stores customer data in a relational database or a JSON document store. Thus, you achieve transparency by highlighting what is being done and not how. So the content of what is being required needs to be in a universal language that is comprehensible. For example, if you need to get regulatory sign-off on changes, then state which regulator and what regulatory text you're seeking to satisfy. That is clear and unambiguous. Similarly, you don't need to spend time in pointless PowerPoint steering committee meetings to update stakeholders. This can be done by inviting them to the end of iteration demo, where progress is shown in real time with working software. If people aren't available, you can circulate a one-page snapshot to stakeholders that shows the progress towards goals and things to do in the upcoming period. It doesn't have to be complex. This simple approach baffles many in business who think their worth is based upon the number of slides they clog up email inboxes with, especially when the majority of people won't even open that slide deck. Communicate often and with small amounts of useful information that busy people can absorb within their cognitive load. That is, the amount of information that working memory can hold at one time. It applies to us, not just to computers. So to wrap up, this session has been about looking at a product owner, and it really is a fascinating and rewarding role. It also comes with significant accountability. This is a two-way street, as the entire organization must respect the decisions of the product owner. This means that support begins from the top and is delegated to the product owner in a trusted manner. There's also nothing to hide with visibility and transparency. Decisions on priorities or ordering of the backlog are made based upon what is most valuable to the business. So this clears out a lot of nonsense politics, and many of us are tired of stupid politics wasting our time. So this is exciting stuff, but also entirely necessary if an organization is going to thrive in the digital age. Now, before you go, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your feedback is valuable, so please feel free to comment. Thank you.